From hotel rooms that have you in a bubble, to ones that have you enjoying the wilds of the world and more, here are some of the most unique hotels and hotel rooms in the world. Number 10. Bubble Room. When you think of a hotel, more than likely you think of a decorated room that is big enough to live in, sleep in, and has very basic things like walls and a roof. However, there are a variety of places all over the world that offer what are known as bubble rooms. These are exactly what they sound like. They're actual rooms that you can live and sleep in, and they're enclosed inside a bubble-like container, usually made of plastic or glass, depending on the hotel. Places where you can go and get a bubble room like this includes the 5 million star hotel in Legarus, Iceland, where they are not only putting you in a bubble room, but they do so in the middle of nature so that you can enjoy the sights and sounds of nature as you look at it without obstruction or light pollution. For those curious, yes, the bubble rooms have ventilation and a rather advanced system that won't just recycle the air to keep it fresh, but cycle it so the humidity in the room is not too high. So if you're looking for a hotel room that has you one with nature while sleeping in a regular bed and in an enclosed space, you might want to look up these bubble rooms. Number 9. Dasparkhotel. Located in Otten-sheim, Austria, Dasparkhotel is without a doubt one of the most unique places you can find to stay at in regards to a hotel. Mainly because you're not sleeping in an overall complex. Rather, you're staying inside a massive drain pipe. Before you think that this is just some slum of a hotel, you're wrong. While it's true that the Dasparkhotel has you staying in drain pipes, these are repurposed ones that are made to not just be safe and sanitary, but fit people of various numbers. They've even been outfitted with certain electrical fixtures that can be used at your leisure. 3 standard sewer pipes with an inner diameter of 2 meters and a length of 2.6 meters have been equipped with fittings that have been reduced to the minimum of what is required and thus adapted to the place of stay. The hotel even has a pay-as-you-wish policy, and the only thing that they ask of you is that you use a local public restroom when you have to go. The benefit of being in such a place is that it's located in a park, and thus you're waking up to the sights and smells of nature. Number 8. Woodland Park, home to the Hobbit Motel. Lord of the Rings is one of the most beloved series of all time, and both the books and movies showed off the town of Hobbiton greatly. But for fans, they wanted to create their own Hobbit experience. So, in Woodland Park, which is on the north side of New Zealand, where all 6 Middle-earth films were made, they decided to recreate Hobbiton in their own way, and they made the very first Hobbit Motel. Not unlike a Hobbit home, the motel is underground, and the roof is actually grass that you can walk on due to the fact that it's connected to a nearby hill. You might be looking at this and think, is this an actual working motel? And it is, in fact. The designers used polystyrene blocks to ensure that the Hobbit Motel would be not only cool during the summer, but warm during the winter. So this is a motel you can truly go to all year round, depending on when you are available. In fact, not unlike an actual Hobbit home, it's quite well furnished and very spacious. Rooms feature beds, kitchens, and more, and they can have up to 6 people stay in each room. It also should be noted that also in New Zealand is a recreation of Hobbiton itself by the movie sets. Number 7. Pioneer Town. Despite being very far from the time period, the Wild West is still something that intrigues people all over the world. And to that end, during its heyday in Hollywood by the 1940s, many actors came forward and decided to make not just a Wild West hotel, but a town. It was called Pioneer Town, and you can find it to this day in California. Hollywood actors like Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, and several other ambitious investors came together to make an experience unlike any other. Theirs was a dream to create a film location that mirrored a town from the old Wild West, while doubling as a lodging for Western movie stars. Pioneer Town contains a classic saloon, jail, and a horse tethering spaces outside its quaint boutiques. You can treat yourself to a generous portion of spare ribs as you enjoy live music in the desert sun and round off your experience with the night at the local motel, designed in Best Western style. To be clear, this really is a town, and as of 2019, the population was at 420. Number 6. Book and Bed. Have you ever fallen asleep reading a book? It was that question or notion that helped drive the creation of the hotel known as Book and Bed. But while it's a hotel of sorts, it's not the one you're likely expecting. You might be thinking that it's a place full of books to read while on a comfy bed, and thus you can fall asleep while reading a book in a safe spot. But it's not. Rather, it's a bookstore that also has a hotel room inside of the bookshelves themselves. And just so people are clear, the hotel warns that this is not the place to go if you're wanting a good night of sleep. Rather, they want you to fulfill an experience by having a book in your hands as you slowly drift off. What we do is offer an experience while reading a book, or comic book, an experience shared by everyone at least once. The blissful instant of falling asleep. It's already 2 a.m., but you think just a little more. With heavy drooping eyelids, you continue reading only to realize you have fallen asleep. Dozing off, obviously during your treasured pastime, is the finest moment of sleep. Don't you agree? Number 5. Conestoga Ranch. Once upon a time, when the early Americans were trying to fulfill their manifest destiny, they traveled across the country on wagons and even slept in them as they went from place to place. If you're curious as to how that would go, then you might want to head to Utah to enjoy the Conestoga Ranch. Because not only do they offer you an outdoor camping experience by massive 4 to 6 person tents, they also offer you the chance to live in the modern, amenity-filled wagons. Based on authentic 19th century designs and custom-made right here in Bear Lake, Utah, our Conestoga family wagons offer a completely unique experience for adults and kids alike. Our 4-person and 6-person wagons each offer a king-size bed and either 1 or 2 sets of bunks. Outside of sleeping like a frontiersman, Conestoga Ranch is set within Yellowstone National Park, one of the most beloved and respected national parks in the world. Thus, you'll be waking up to a wonderful view of nature and have plenty of room to explore, hike, fish, and more. Number 4. Faraldo Crane Hotel. One of the ironies of hotels is that you can put them anywhere if you think that a person would be willing to have a room there, including have one built to a literal crane, which is exactly what you will find at the Faraldo Crane Hotel in Amsterdam. The rooms of this hotel are 164 feet above the ground, and thus aren't for anyone who has a fear of heights or desires to be on solid ground as they sleep or walk about. However, if you desire panoramic views of the world as you wake up, this might be the place to stay. Plus, if you're the adventurous type, the hotel will offer you the chance to bungee jump off the 300-foot top of the crane. Also, at the top of the crane is a jacuzzi to relax in. What might be the most unique thing about this hotel is that from a distance, it really does look like a basic crane, not a hotel. Number 3. Draft Manor, Kenya. Many vacation experiences offer the chance for you to go and enjoy the wildlife of the area. But in Kenya, they took this to another level with their Draft Manor, because this mansion is literally built next to an area where drafts, which are native to the area, are allowed to roam free. By this token, you might be able to experience a draft actually coming up to your window, and if you leave it open, it might poke its head in so that it could eat some of your food. The manor was actually converted into a hotel in 1983, and it's become one of the most unique hotels in all of the world. And on the off chance that you aren't a fan of giraffes, there are other native wildlife all around the area, including an elephant orphanage that you can go and visit and interact with those animals. Rooms start at $660 per night. Number 2. Ashford Castle. Most people have dreamed about living in a castle one day, or being part of a time period where that was a major thing. In Ireland, at Ashford Castle, you have that chance. The castle has been around since 1228, when it was solely just a mansion. The families who own the castle would then grow and expand it until you get the Ashford Castle that you see today, which is 26,000 acres of land that can be yours for a night or two. Ashford Castle has attracted a lot of famous people over the years, including Mary Queen of Scots, King George V, Princess Grace, Brad Pitt, President Ronald Reagan, and more. The CW TV series Reign even filmed here because of how French it looked. So if you're wanting to fulfill your dream of staying in a castle, this is the place to do it. Number 1. Boeing 727 Hotel. A Boeing 727 is a plane that is still very much in use to this day. But in Costa Rica, it's been slightly repurposed to become part of a hotel, one that you can stay in for about a couple $100 a night. But how exactly did this come to be? The answer is that the airplane in question reached the end of its flight life and was solid for $2,000 to a person who spent about $4,000 to bring it to Costa Rica. Done? Not quite. The people behind the hotel then spent a grand total of about $24,000 to take the airplane and repurpose it into the hotel room you see now. The bedrooms of the hotel suite are inside the plane, while other amenities are built outside of it. The hotel even got another plane and made it into a restaurant called the Cockpit Cottage. The interior of the plane was redesigned with a teak wood style so that it would feel more like a natural room in the hotel in a Costa Rican jungle, and every bedroom has their own private bathroom. Thanks for watching. What did you think of these unique hotel rooms? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!